Hi everybody, welcome back to Avowed Raw. This is episode number 5. I am Joe the Widget, and I am joined by my fellow co-hosts, the merchant traveler extraordinaire, Kilo.
Ugh, God, it's just getting worse.
Yeah.
Every week it's getting
worse every week.
I know. What's
Next
up,
week it'll
guys?
be just pickpocket ambassador or something, I don't know.
Pickpocket ambassador?
That's better
Sounds
than
like-
whatever it was you said.
That sounds like the worst way to get on a list nobody wants to be on.
True. The overachiever, Archon.
The overachiever. The overachiever who got 0 playtime in this week. Womp womp.
That sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah. How much did you get in?
I got about 3, maybe 4 hours.
Oh, well, dang.
But a lot of it was stuff I couldn't really put on my notes because it was story based, and I did a lot of running around looking just for stuff.
To be fair, I am still waiting for you guys to catch up, so.
You're gonna be waiting a while.
I know. I know.
I've had an insane week, so.
So one thing I noticed right away with Avowed this week is that I've never seen a game do this before to this extent, but they straight put spoilers of the story right in their patch notes. And I had to like warn these guys. I was like, hey, if you guys don't want spoilers, don't read the patch notes from the patch this week. And they're like, oh, okay. Because
I didn't really.
there's like actual story element spoilers in the patch notes. I was like, wow, okay.
You don't see that too often.
Yeah, that's not too bright. Come on, Obsidian, you can't do that.
Especially not like a week and a half after the game came out. I mean, you got to give people time, especially, and it's like it's not like early game spoilers either. It's like for the 4th act of the game. So it's like about the area where a lot of people might be starting to get to, unless they went hardcore. So it's like, what the heck?
I mean, I did have a lot of fun though, running around the 3rd zone, just looking for stuff. I've been trying to upgrade all my materials or all my weapons, and I got at least 3 of my. Let me see here. I got 2 of my weapons and my medium armor to the point where I can get them to the red tier.
Superb.
Okay.
Is that
Yeah.
superb?
I think it's superb. And then it goes legendary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's superb quality. The quality that I kept forgetting about earlier in the show when we were talking about that levels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm almost there, but I got to get those. Was it corrupted Adria?
Adras?
Yeah,
Yeah, but you can make those.
you can, but you got to find the other ones first too.
That's also true.
Which, my luck is in full swing on that. And yeah, after about 2 hours of looking for it, I did not have. I got 2 of them. No, 3 of them out of the 4 I need for 1 item.
Did you ever find that memory in the first zone?
No, I did not. That's on my notes to do. I did find the 3rd one though, in the 3rd zone, and that was just by running around doing my bounties, which I'm taking a page from Rook. He told me about this when he did it, and I was already starting the process, and I wanted to do it anyway. I'm going around and taking out all the bounties. Went to the bounty board, collected them all, and just started going around, wiping them all out until I get done with all of them. Then turn them all in.
That was the first thing I did. I always did.
I was running around looking for the bounty board. Where is that? Because I haven't come across it yet.
Are you in the 1st or 2nd zone?
Paradise.
I'm in the 1st zone.
Okay.
It's in Paradise.
Yeah.
I'm in Paradise.
You know where the bar is where you find what's his toes?
Marius?
Yeah, Marius.
Marius?
If you go out of the bar, like trying to think of what I'm thinking directions here, but if you go out of like the main door and like there's like stairs on either side that go up, and then go up to like almost a bridge across, it's like right in the middle of that bridge.
Yeah, just a lady standing right next to it.
Oh, okay.
There's a board.
So I've passed it about a half a dozen times.
It's just a board with a bunch of little sheets on it.
Cool.
You go up there, grab all the sheets, and it gives you the area where they're at, and you go lay some smack down.
That's the first thing. Like every zone that I went to, the first thing I would do when I got to the city is get all the bounties and then go do them all at once. Because when you complete all of them, you get a unique item or something, some type of reward for it, which is usually pretty decent.
Yeah.
So I always did those like first so I could get that item.
Aren't those random, the bounties? What unique you get? I thought I read somewhere that they were. From like a
it could be. I don't know. It could be something that's from a pool, but I mean, I've only done them all once, so I couldn't tell you if I got something separate second time because I haven't done them a second time. So
we'll get there. I've been moving and getting a new car and everything all this week. But the game time I did get in, I did decide to beeline it to Thirdborn immediately so I can go, turn in the main story, get the bounty boards, targets, and then just pick up all the side quests I could find.
Did Brooke tell you the way he's been playing?
No.
Like when he goes into like the say Thirdborn or whatever, when he goes into that area, Scarp or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
When he goes in
Scarp.
there, he literally runs around and explores everything and does every single quest he can before even going to the main city. And then he'll knock out all the side quests, all the bounties, and then do the main story. That's the way he's done like the first 2 zones.
That is 100% Rook. If you listen to our other show, Starfield Raw, he's our explorer extraordinaire. And
he showed me his map of the first area, and there's almost nothing not explored. I was impressed. I'm like, wow, like my map looks nothing like that.
I still have like at least a quarter of it grayed out.
Yeah, that's why you haven't found the memory yet.
Exactly. I've been a little bit more methodical in the third zone, a lot more methodical actually. I think I had maybe an eighth of the second zone that was still grayed out, but I was close to everything. It was like these long, narrow areas that were grayed.
Mm.
And the third map, I've been doing really good about trying to go everywhere. I've been finding all kinds of weird little side stories and quests, and like those people that are inside the mine, and you have to go kill this lady's husband and her brother-in-law's brother because they're infected.
Oh.
One of those big...
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
In the well? I wouldn't have ever found it if I wasn't exploring everything and going through and paying attention.
You don't have to kill them.
No, you don't.
Just
no, it's one of
your
those elements.
options.
Well, of course I killed him. I'm doing the good thing.
And Rook actually came across something while he was playing his playthrough that actually shocked me. Like, you can change huge story elements in the game by how you do things. And I knew that, like, some of the little things... Well, I knew some of the little things you could change, or like not being able to get a quest because you didn't save anything. But like,
he told me about
this was a huge story element of the second zone, and I was shocked that he was able to completely change the entire story element, because that literally plays a role throughout the entire game with one of your followers, and he was able to like change that completely. I was like,
well, we know there's 20 plus endings, so there's got to be a lot of things you can change, which makes me really curious about what else can be changed.
Yeah.
And yeah, when he told me that, I was mind blown. Like, I didn't even think that was a possibility.
Me either.
And we can't talk about it because Kilo hasn't been there yet. But
not yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
It is a big story element, so we don't want to give anything away on it.
Is this the episode where we pick on Kilo and tell him to get good?
Noob.
No, it's just a matter of time. I mean, some people are just a little busy, but that's what makes the show
fun. I'm getting a lot better with my combat, and I finally I was saving up my gold for that superior quality Grimoire that's all shock damage.
Oh, yeah.
And it has the one Ice Storm in it. I'm loving it. I'm stunning the snot out of everything in a couple spells and just beating them down. And one of the most interesting fights I've done yet, whereas those lizard people, I always forget what they're called, but it was on this pillar of rocks, and their village goes up all the way around it. You're just kind of going up this pathway around this rock, and up top on the plateau is where the boss is. And I got knocked off once.
That's isn't that a bounty?
Yeah, it is.
Pretty sure that's a bounty.
It's a bounty.
When they're called Zarups. They're called Zarups.
Thank you. Yeah, and I wound up taking out 3 or 4 Zarups just by knocking them off edge using my little book slam.
I've never used that spell.
Oh, I love that spell. It's on my hotbar. It's one of my big go-tos. That and my magic missile. They don't call it magic missile, but that's what it is.
Right.
I thought it was called magic missiles.
No, it's like a synonym for it. Mm-hmm. What the heck was it?
Probably to avoid copyright.
Yeah.
Huh.
Don't want to mess with Hasbro.
I swear it was called like arcane missiles or magic missiles or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's like something like that. It's like arcane, something like that. I'm sure someone's going to correct us, probably on Reddit from Ohio.
Here we go.
Sorry.
That was a pretty cool fight, though. And I was doing it while on the phone, so that made it even more fun. Let me see here.
Multitasking or what?
Yeah. That's how I had to do it. Things were so busy this week.
Right.
I did get Scavenger rank 2, and it helps a ton. It really, 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 really helps. It's helped me to upgrade everything up to the point where I need Adra, like that.
Yeah. I just took my first point in that one.
Well,
I never took that. I never took that, and before the end of the game, I was able to have everything upgraded to legendary. So
I'm just saying it makes it easier.
It does make it easier, especially if you're somebody who likes to jump around equipment. And
I have my two. I've
Yeah.
been trying to use my two melee weapons more, but still doesn't have the same effect as using my magic because I'm not built for it. I think I'm level 18 now or 17, so I'm not that low, but not the
Still not
greatest
bad.
yet.
You'll get your 20 spells here soon, and then you'll really devastate.
Yeah.
Although there's only 2, and one of them is kind of useful unless you don't have mana like issues at all. Because one of them like puts a circle on the ground, and as long as you stay in that circle, it like regenerates your mana.
Oh yeah.
The other one, the Meteor Storm, meh.
I've been having mana issues. I mean, the last episode I talked about how I never ran out. Well, I've been running out. And another big flip is I don't use near as many health potions anymore, so I actually have about 7 or 8 on me.
What?
I know.
Look at
Shocker.
you. Yeah.
Look at you go. You are a
Sucking
shocker
less.
from the sounds of it.
The shocking
You mu-
teen.
You must have took my advice to heart last episode.
I have
good.
been really trying to do all my fights around water. That makes it a lot more entertaining for me. Just shock.
Or for the electricity. Yeah.
It's nice until one of your followers go in that water, and then they get electrocuted, and then they follow you around and electrocute you, and then
Yeah, that's the only thing that's a nightmare. But I haven't had that happen too much. I've been trying to be more careful about that. You guys gotta be careful.
Have you had the refresh thing going on, or did you figure that out?
Now since the last episode.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't tried, frying my minions, no companions.
Yeah.
Did you go across Tago's Tower, Archon, in the 3rd zone? It was loaded from top to bottom with traps every 2 feet.
yes,
Yeah.
you gotta go there.
I found it
You
just
gotta
by
go
wandering around.
Oh, it's kind of part of Westline. So
Well, I skipped that part, apparently.
yeah, but yeah, there are every possible way to there is trapped, and then the entire thing is trapped, and it's
It was
obnoxious.
annoying the crap out of me because I didn't figure out how to disarm traps until halfway up. I mean, it was stupid easy, and I don't know why I didn't figure it out before.
I was just
You just-
clicking on them.
You look at the post because I was looking at the tripwire itself, and I could not get anything to give me an indication I could cut the rope or anything or disarm. Looked at the little post next to it. Bingo, disarm.
Yeah, and then once you get like up toward the top of the tower, you can pull a lever and just disarm all the traps.
Which apparently that if you don't, it can change the story element of it.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Yeah, it's another one
Pretty
of those
much
fun things.
everything in there changes the story element.
Yeah, depending how you do things, and it not just in how you converse with people, but the actions you take getting up to that point can affect it.
My favorite thing still that I've found in the entire game, and I can say this because it's not really a spoiler, is you're in this one area and you go into this room and there's a lever and there's a sign next to the lever that says, "Do not pull this lever under any circumstances."
Yeah, I did that one.
And then you can't die. I mean, you gotta pull the lever because it says don't pull the lever. I mean, you gotta pull the lever. So, and I don't know about the Xbox, but I know on Steam if you pull the lever, you get an achievement for it.
I didn't see it. That was the last thing I did before I called it quits for the week and before I had to move. Yeah, and I don't remember seeing if I got an achievement. But it was too
probably did.
hilarious. I had to go for it. I mean, you cannot
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, you gotta have a lot of willpower to not pull the lever. We'll see if Keela can do it.
It's like that big red button syndrome. Don't press this button.
Yeah, I'll for sure pull it. Like,
Yeah.
there's no doubt it's happening.
I don't care. I'm doing it.
Gotta do it.
Yeah, I had to. I got all 4 of my permanent party members finally. I mean, obviously I knew who the 4th one was before even going to the 3rd zone, but I picked her up and she's annoying, but yet I like what her little quirks that she says.
I was gonna
way
say
more than
annoying.
anybody
She's
else.
hilarious.
She's one of the best ones for that.
She is hilarious, and
Yeah.
she's a little bit on the frisky side.
Very little bit.
A little bit on the
Jeez.
frisky side. Like she's a wild child.
I've gotten into some deep innuendos with her in conversations.
If you're into all that furry stuff.
That made me wonder about some of the developers. Anyway,
I'm wondering about her husband.
right? Apparently he is. I mean, he's clearly into furry. I mean, she's cute for an animal. Cross human.
Is that even okay to say?
Probably not. And I'm still not a fan of Mr. Harry Grumpy.
Mr. Harry Grumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a very weak character until you get to the 4th chapter of the game, and then you start understanding a little bit more into the life of Marius.
I don't need to understand it. He's just an a-hole. He's an asshole.
Yeah, what show
Yeah.
are you on?
Yeah,
Right.
wrong shojo. So yeah,
You
that's
just
all
get-
I've been doing is just rolling around, building up my spells, and just I haven't done anything with the main quest because there's one point where I gotta grab Yatsli, and put her in my party before I can progress, and I didn't want to do that yet, so I just continued on.
In my experience, she's probably the most useful person to have in your party.
She does the same thing I do, just a little different.
Yes, but she also can, like, her special ability is to reveal hidden things,
Yeah, I noticed that, but I don't.
and
I
there's
like my
almost
tank.
always treasure chests and things behind the hidden things. So keep your tank and then replace.
I need my
Yeah.
healer. I need my
No,
healer.
you don't.
Yeah, I do. She's the reason why I haven't been using health potions as much.
She's a crutch. Break free of the crutch. Get good.
Hashtag get good.
I like her, okay? She's cute.
I'm telling.
She's asleep.
So Kilo,
What
have you
up?
been up to, man?
What have I been
Tell
up
us.
to?
Tell us what's going on in Kilo.
Well, I
land.
want to. I think I want to talk. Actually, I would love to talk about this article first
Okay.
before I get into my play.
I'm cool with that.
Well, it kind of goes in. We were talking about a lot of the choices and the little things, how little decisions can have big impacts in the game. And I came across this article on Screen Rant, and it's Avowed Composer reveals the game is deeper than you think. It's not a hero's journey, it's more of a hero's mystery. And basically, it's a really interesting. It's an interview I would not expect from a composer, but he really goes into how he was told up front that it was going to be a contained experience. That the whole idea is that if you really banged it out, you could beat the game in a couple weeks. Archon. So
Yeah.
it was meant to be that. It was meant to be friendly to, people with busy schedules, grown adults who have to do things like work for a living. And that was something that he took into, scoring the game. His name is Venus Theory. I have never heard of him before, but obviously the music in the game is absolutely amazing. And the way he created the music even reflects the choices that you can make in the game. He, at one point in the article, mentions that for one song, he would end up writing 6 or 7 different versions of that song that would reflect the choices you made and the direction that you're going in the game. So even as you play through the game, if you make different choices, even the music is different and something new and something appropriate to the experience that you're having, which is kind of monumental if you think about it. He said,
having only played through it once, I haven't noticed that, but maybe I will on my second playthrough. I'll notice it a little bit more.
he says, quote, if you make different choices, the Envoy's, it's Envoy, everybody says Envoy in the game. If you make different choices, the Envoy's character theme actually changes based on the choices that you make. It's not the Envoy theme, it's your Envoy theme. And he went on to say that there's about 20 different variations in all.
Nice.
On that note, you want to hear the most annoying thing that I came across in my entire playthrough?
What's that?
Everybody calls you Envoy through the entire game, and then at the end, like in your little recap, they call you Envoy.
In their recap?
Yeah, they call you Envoy. But through the whole game, they call you Envoy. And then during the recap, they call you Envoy. I'm like, really? Really? It's been irritating me the whole game that you're calling me Envoy instead of Envoy. And then at the end, you're going to correct it? Come on.
Say they realize their mistake at the end of production, like, yeah, we're not going to change everything.
The only person who knows how to pronounce that word is the person they got to record the end.
I think it might be a dialect thing,
It's a
because
potato thing.
like the UK pronounces things slightly differently. They add extra vowels and stuff. The choice affects more than the Envoy theme. Venus Theory aimed to explore the sound of what consequence is, which is basically explored through the game as, quote, a lot of very morally ambiguous and morally gray things that come up in the story. As he put it, finding deeper shades of emotional color. If you're going to paint your bathroom blue, there are a bazillion shades of blue. Which one is most interesting? So I really like the approach that he took to the sound design in the game. I think it's absolutely incredible, and the fact that he was able to keep up and make it unique based on the experience of the player is just really impressive. The article goes on to, I recommend it. I'll put it up in our Discord, but he even had to invent an instrument for the world in order to fit with the theme.
I've seen that happen a lot in movies too, where the composers have to invent instruments or sounds
Basically,
just for that
to get
particular-
that right. Absolutely. And then the article finishes out, and it says Venus Theory teases an exceptionally rare ending. Otherwise, the composer didn't say one specific ending was canon, but there is an exceptionally rare one. So,
I know there's some rare endings.
I
I'm not
wonder
sure
how you know if you got a rare ending or not.
right?
but it's supposed to. Well, okay. He says one of them is exceptionally rare, which I would guess is not the canon ending because it's kind of a fun one. I'm curious if anyone's going to get it because musically, it's one of the fun ones that was really interesting to design. So it stood out to him that as one of his favorite pieces in the game. So I highly recommend this. I know we got the opportunity to talk with the composer for Starfield, and it was really great. I would love the opportunity, if at all possible, to talk to Venus Theory and dive a little bit more into this. Again, I'll put the link up in the Discord so that people can read that article.
Wow, I'd love
But,
to talk
yeah.
to them. Composers have a unique look at the gaming world.
It's a completely different perspective, and usually one that we don't see otherwise, which is what makes great composers great.
Yeah. There was a little link, ironically. So I was looking at this article when you put it in our notes, and it says the game constantly throws choices at the player, and then parentheses, and even some secret choices. Well, the underlying secret choices is a link. I clicked on that, like I shouldn't, and it actually talks about the choice that Rook found that changes
Oh,
that big
okay.
event.
Interesting. Is it sad? Am I really a nerd that when you said as soon as you said a little link, my mind went immediately to Ocarina of Time?
Da, 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 da,
No,
Am I really that much of a nerd?
da.
you're just a very particular nerd.
I just really thought of a little link.
Like, yeah. Hey, listen.
I think on this playthrough, I think like because I'm doing it like the straight asshole way and like being a jerk and killing everybody and stuff. I think I'm going to do what Rook did as well because I don't know if that's the worst approach or the better approach, to be honest. Because
Okay, can you give me a hint of what I'm looking for without giving anything away? Can you tell me
we can't without giving away like the whole plot of the second act.
I give you one little
All right.
tiny hint, one little one that
Okay.
the Steel Garrote. I hate that name. They might
Steel Garrote.
they might have a presence around the second zone. And look for the hints
Yeah.
and clues about that.
I've been looking for that too because I keep hearing about her, but I never see her.
So
You
there's
will.
a very large thing that happens at the end of Act 2, and Rook found a way to make it not happen. We'll just say
Oh,
that.
I see.
He
Okay,
just found
all
a way to
right,
make
all
it
right.
not happen altogether. And where we're like,
Okay.
"Whoa, what? Like I
You
didn't
whet
think
my
that was going to be
appetite.
possible." Yeah, so play
right.
through
It made
play through
sense.
Act 2.
After I thought about it, it really made sense because I remember getting all the clues about the Steel Garrote being in the second zone all over
Right.
the place, thinking that they might try something or they're worrying about them and things like that. And I never thought much past it until the event happened, and I'm like, oh,
Huh.
You're borderline starting to give things away. So
yeah, I'm stopping right there.
rein it in.
I'm stopping right there.
Well, see, yeah, now you got my gears turning based on what I experienced in my playthrough this week.
Well, let's
Because
hear
there's
about
some
it.
suspicious stuff.
Yeah, let's hear about it.
There's some suspicious stuff.
Well, what do you
Well,
got?
first, okay, so I go, I did the whole ambassador, save the dumb ambassador thing, and then I was cracking up. I walk into town, and I'm sorry. I know we're not supposed to compare to Skyrim, but it reminded me of walking up to the gates of.
This is a podcast. We can compare it to whatever we want.
Yeah, well, I know, but Riften, walking up to the gates of Riften, because you walk up into Paradise, and all of a sudden you got these two boneheads, Brentis and Pod. These idiots, they step up to you, try to chest up, and I was
Like
able
all
to
tough.
get Pod to run away. He ended up bouncing, but Brentis drew down and draws her weapon. I just pull my gun out and just blast
Oh,
her.
I know what you're talking about. Like when you go across that little bridge.
Yeah, we go across a little bridge. It's like, yeah,
Mhm.
it was just such a little flex. And I'm like, really? Like, after everything I just imagine being the envoy, crossing the bridge after going through all that in in Strangle Route, and you're getting back, and these two boneheads just step out in front of you. Like, really? Today's not the day. I'm confused by my own notes.
That happens to me too.
What the heck does pickpocket gravity of the situation mean? What is that?
Maybe that was just auto-corrected.
That could have been. So I don't know how much. I don't want to talk too much because it's kind of like a big spoiler for the beginning of the game, right?
Well, that's the beginning of the game.
Yeah, we could talk about anything. I would say in the first act is fair
first
game.
act is fair game.
Yeah.
We'll say it's fair game. If you haven't completed the first act, you might want to fast forward a little bit, but
Yeah. Well, obviously you get capped the minute you walk into the town.
Mm-hmm.
yep.
And that was really cool too. The whole sequence of the voice. The voice is getting weird to me at this point
It doesn't get any better.
because now it's like showing up in the middle of conversations and stuff, and all of a sudden it's like the voice.
Oh yeah.
But I
Just wait.
I
Pretty
am-
soon it'll start showing up every single time you rest at your camp.
you guys are probably gonna know the answer to this already. But I am highly suspicious of the ambassador in regards to my attempted assassination. Just saying. Yeah, look at both of you. Look at both of you right now. We should be on video right now so people can see your fucking faces. But
I would say stay away from that suspicion. I would say stay away from that
suspicion. Okay. All
I
right.
would say
Well,
you're gonna be barking up a paranoid tree if you follow that suspicion
that's a
too much.
dangerous rabbit hole. So
Yeah, just
okay,
stay away from that.
I noticed something once I was in the city, and it was the first time that I actually noticed it, and that was when you have. And this is just a little thing that tickled me as a gamer because it's something you don't see in a lot of games, like Starfield, for instance. If you had like multiple objectives on the same quest, like you would just have 4 arrows in 4 different directions with no understanding really, unless you pulled out your scanner and like, okay, what one's that one? It's a big pain in the butt. I really like that the game gives you A, B, C, and D. For your multiple objectives so that you can that's the first one. Oh, if I go there, then that's the second one. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's the optional one. Okay.
I love that. Let's see. Okay. Totem of the Oathbinder.
So you found the full totem in the first zone?
I believe, yes, I did. Because you have to go up to that temple that nobody wants to go to, and then you run into that creep that's up there. So yeah, I got that one. Investigation.
Did you get all the pieces to it or just the base?
I might have been. Well, is the one at the lighthouse part of it?
That's one of the pieces to it. Yeah.
So I have 2 pieces of it then.
There's 6, I think.
So you have the base and you have one of the pieces. You need 6 total.
So
and
I got
every
4
piece you
more to
find, if you bring them to your camp and put it on the little pedestal, they'll give you buffs. Basically, they give you like bonus stats and bonus buffs, and it helps you basically play the game.
I still use Oathbinder because it works really well with magic.
Okay. Oh,
First
that's
one
for
is
the magic.
solid.
That's the magic one then. Okay.
I think the
Yeah.
one you're
Cool.
gonna
Well,
like the most probably be in second zone, as far
Okay.
as I know so
Before-
far. I haven't
Yeah,
found
that's-
the,
You said that's the
Yeah.
sniper one last week, or the ranged.
yeah, it has more ranged buffs to it.
Okay, I'm about that. Because I
want to say the 4th one is like the totem of the hunter, though.
I haven't been there, so I don't know. But you would. I can't. I found out that you can't put your any of your totems down until you find the base.
Yeah, you gotta have the base first.
Oh.
I think I have
okay.
4 pieces of the third zone's totem, and I don't have the base yet, so I can't do anything with it.
But if you have the base, you can start setting the pieces up. Does it start buffing you, and you just get more buffs as you complete it? Okay, that's cool. That's useful. Now that I know what to do with that. Sorry if I'm having a hard time speaking and not sounding completely weird because I'm still kind of congested.
Well, you're
but-
fine. We've all been sick here recently, so we
It's
know
the
how
weather.
it is.
It's
We
the
feel
weather
the pain.
change. It gets me every time. It's the only time during the year I get sick.
It just keeps changing too.
never get
Like every day is a different temperature and a different
Yeah.
temperature.
Yeah, we go through all 4 seasons in 1 week here in Michigan.
was like-
Thank you.
It was like 58 or 59 yesterday, and then today it was like 32 and snowing.
Yeah, and 27 when I walked out of my house this
All
morning.
winter
yeah.
this year in Southern California, it was completely dry. All the wildfires and all that stuff.
Whatever.
And then suddenly, the day I'm moving is a monsoon.
When it rained, monsoon.
All the rain. All the rain.
Just all
I
of it
remember
at
the
once.
rain when I was down there. It rained seriously down there. Yeah, so I started doing the investigation of my own murder.
Which I thought was hilarious. They had to go.
Yeah,
It
That's
was
great.
your own
really
death.
funny.
That is great.
Kai's comments throughout the whole thing was just hilarious. Like, it's not every day you get to investigate your own murder. And then everybody's like, I thought you were dead.
Didn't I see you die?
Right. Well, it was all theatrics. And then the embassy. Okay, that killed me for a second because they said you have to like go to the top of the embassy to find some clue or whatever. It took me forever to figure that one out. I was running around inside the embassy, probably longer than I should have, trying to find stairs. No, it's not stairs. You got to do the Assassin's Creed thing up across the
everything.
scaffolding,
Yep.
parkour everything, which was cool. It was fun. It was a little tricky, but it was a lot of fun. I just, because it feels like its own little puzzle, and again, it goes back to like original Tomb Raider or Uncharted or something like that, where part of the puzzle is just figuring out how to move around it.
It reminds me of the original like Assassin's Creed 2. Even the look of the ledges and stuff like that you can climb has that hint, kind of like Assassin's Creed 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty. Yeah, it's pretty fun. And you do feel like if you get going with some momentum, it really does feel like you're parkouring. Just they did a really good job with that.
Yeah, I always want to play that Office little soundbite from The Office. Parkour.
Yeah. I have found the NPC that I'm in love with. I have. Yep. Her name is Juliana, and she works at she runs the Mermaid Den. And her voice actress is amazing. They did a great job with her look. I'm all about the dark hair, light eyes thing. That was kind of interesting. I wasn't expecting that to be in the game. I don't know. It was just, it kind of felt like it kind of came out of nowhere. All right, well, you need this herb.
Get you all the herbs you need.
It was just it was so weird. It felt like such a drop, like a political drop in the game. And I'm not saying one way or the other. Obviously, you can make your own decision in the game. You know, I made sure she got the herbs, but I just thought it was so what, like off theme or off tempo for the game. It was just so random, but cool. It was cool. I did like I like the going out to see the Watcher when you have to go meet the Watcher out in the wilderness in the wilds.
Oh yeah.
I did all
Soul
that.
thing.
It was nighttime when I did that. So like all the plants were like kind of illuminated and stuff, and everything.
Did you explore the area?
I ran around a little bit.
Because
you mean around her house?
Well, no, because there's you know how you have to like jump across the water basically to get up to where she's at.
Yeah, I fucking
like
hate that.
There's that the water and then the bridge, and you got to make ice to get over there. Whatever.
Yep.
If you explore around that area, there's like a cave or whatever, you can go in and you go down, and there's like an axe sitting by a fountain. That if you pick it up, it's a unique axe, and it's really, really, really good. And then you get jumped by like a whole bunch of skeletons.
I'm gonna have to go back for that because I did not find.
I
was having a what?
Did you do the coin in the pond? Because there's this guy you talked to. I talked about it with Archon.
Okay. I remember you talking about that.
Yeah. Did you talk to the guy and get the coin?
No. Where is he?
I'm still really curious about it. He's right outside her house, just a little bit down the path. Just you can see her house and everything.
Man. I missed a couple of things. Then I'm gonna have to go back. No, yeah, because I went and I saw her, and then she did like a reading for Kai, and then she did my reading, and I was over it at that point. I kind of ran around a little bit there, but then I ended up just kind of jumping back to town.
Widget, did you find that thing I was talking about?
The axe?
Yeah.
I don't remember if I did.
It's like an ice axe, and as soon as you pick it up, it's like blue, and as soon as you pick it up, do you get jumped by a bunch of skeletons?
I don't remember.
I feel like you would remember that.
I was having a hard time remembering the Mermaid Den for a second.
Small hint. You, in particular, might want to go find that in that area. Just saying.
Ooh. Okay. Now you're going to have to go back.
Oh, okay. So apparently there's an issue with... It's not tossing the coin in there. It says, toss a coin to your Watcher?
I thought that was supposed to be something that was resolved
reference.
In 1.2.3.
It's a Witcher reference. That's hilarious.
Okay, they say look for a spot where all the coins are on the ground and stand there. Then just move your camera around and a bit while looking at the water. An option to throw the coin should show up. And then people are saying it didn't work for them.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things they patched.
Yeah.
I thought I remember reading that in the patch notes, yeah.
I was really curious about what happens when you do it, because I couldn't, obviously.
Still haven't done it.
No. I might have to go back when I go for the memory.
Right. So then I
said, go look for the axe, Widget.
Go look for the axe. I went back and saw the Sparrowhawks. That was interesting.
Why am I having a hard time remembering some of the stuff in the first zone?
Do you remember the town that's all graffitied up like it was transported out of Cyberpunk?
No. Why am I forgetting all this stuff?
That's where the Mermaid's Den is. It's like in a part of town controlled by the Sparrowhawks. There's graffiti all over the place.
Oh yes, I remember.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Okay,
over
now
where
yeah.
yeah.
And then you help the
apothecary
dude
is.
who's getting shooken down, and
Yep. Okay, that's all. It all came back to me. I'm good now.
my guns came in real handy in that fight, especially when the big son of a bitch showed up out of nowhere behind me.
And then the entire town starts attacking you.
I did not
Yeah.
have that problem.
You
I
take
never
him-
got attacked after that.
You take him out.
What?
You take them all out, and you talk to that one guy guarding the warehouse, and he's still talking smack to you.
I'm wondering if like how I handled it in dialogue options changed, but yeah, I
Did you,
didn't get attacked.
did you kill the guy?
I killed him.
See, because when, like, I'm pretty sure you have to kill the guy, and after I killed the guy, like, all the guys was like, you killed my boss, and then they came after me and tried to kill me.
Yeah, like the whole freaking district attack.
They didn't do that to me.
Everybody,
I walked
I had
that
to, like,
district
literally
without
clear the
any
whole
issues.
place.
I went
Interesting.
shopping there and had no issues.
Your game.
That might be a
like, I
dialogue
swear
thing.
your game
No,
is broken.
because right, but when you go back when you first show up there outside of the mermaid den, and there's that one courtesan that's talking there, and she's kind of getting harassed by the two Sparrowhawks. There's a bunch of dialogue choices there too. I think that might be tied to it. However you handle that situation, maybe that decides how they react to you after you have that fight.
Possible.
Yeah, that's what I was
I don't
thinking.
know.
Maybe it has something to do with the way I did the dialogue that could have changed that outcome. Because I did kill him, and
Yeah.
I didn't get harassed at all. And I remember watching your playthrough right after we got done recording a couple episodes ago, and I was watching you start getting attacked by everything. I didn't have that problem. I kept wondering like, where is this part at where I'm supposed to get attacked by everybody? And
Huh.
Pretty sure Keela was watching me do that part.
It could have been.
I was watching you too.
It was after one of the I think it was after we recorded like episode 2. I was playing through
Yeah,
that part, and
that's what I'm
Keela
saying.
was
Yeah,
watching.
yeah. I was watching you play that part. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say I was
Yep.
too, because I was mentioning it, but
And I was getting like just murked by everything. Like everything was attacking me. Every time I turned a corner, 10 more guys would attack me. I really made them mad.
Hey, you know what cracked me up? I found another instance in which you take something and somebody responds.
I have not had that.
Remember
happen
how you
here.
talk? Okay, you
Yeah, with
remember
the water?
Archon? No, like Archon. You're talking about how you're at that ranger camp, and if you start taking all the stuff, the one dude will step forward and be like, "Hey, save some for someone else," or whatever.
Oh, that's an
You
Act 4
mentioned
that
this.
I found that. Yeah, that
I
was
understand
in
that,
Act
but
4 that I found that.
that's an instance that happened. That's related.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because usually you just walk up and take whatever you
Yeah.
want, wherever you want. Nobody says anything, right? Because there's no crime
we're
system.
starving to death, and you're taking all their food.
Right.
Same thing.
Did you guys run into the crime scene in Paradise where there's 2 of the guards standing
Yes. Uh huh.
there? I took the axe.
Yeah, and he's like, "Hey, that's evidence."
You're like, hey, that's evidence. You can't touch that. And then the officer standing by was like, that's the envoy. Let her go. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I do remember that actually.
Like, oh, okay,
I
my
do.
apologies. That was funny. I just thought about that because I'm like, oh, they actually said something about it.
That's great.
And then I took the dagger too, and I took off.
I've been paying attention
Yeah,
more to
same.
that too ever since Archon brought it up, and I have not had an instance yet where anyone said anything about anything.
Like
Right.
that instance, you grab it and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's the envoy. Just let her go." But I'm talking this instance. If you take too many of the waters or whatever,
Right.
it creates a whole cutscene where the guy comes in and like you have
Oh,
to have
really?
a whole
It's a whole
conversation
cutscene?
with the guy. Yeah,
Oh,
and he's yeah. The game
even
literally
better.
stops the game and says, "Nope,
I
you're
just-
gonna." Reap
I just
your
think it's funny
benefits
that they got that peppered throughout. You know, kind of makes you think twice.
One thing I did notice about this game is with how in depth it is, and with all the morality choices and all that you make throughout the entire game. I'm
Yeah.
kind of upset that there's no like romanceable characters or
Oh, I
anything
know.
in the game.
I brought that up too. Yes, I don't like that.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
There
yeah.
should be.
I even went on Avowed's Discord and had a chat in their discussion about that before the game released, but people were saying, yeah, it makes sense. They don't have any romanceable characters. It takes away from the story if you do. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It adds to it. You get
Yeah,
more
it adds
attached
to
to
the
the
story.
character.
Well, you know, I mean, a lot of games nowadays are having that, and one thing Avowed's done is kind of, you know, changed expectations, and it's turned out
Yes.
for the better. That's all I can really say about it. You know, I mean,
I have only
Yeah.
like very minor complaints about the game, and those are just so minor I don't even worry about bringing them up because it's not worth it.
right,
It's just
right,
my personal preference. That's all it is.
yeah.
The rest of the game, I'm
You know,
absolutely having a blast with.
Did you guys have? I think it's like in the town square. It's like right by where you're assassinated. The guard with the cart has got the lady at the cart.
Yeah.
The lady's like, this guard's harassing me, and the guard asks you to search the cart.
Oh yeah.
Did you have that? Okay, you had that. So the first, like, when I first approached and I had the whole conversation, I'm kind of like looking around the cart. I'm like, there's no marker, there's no hint of what you're supposed to do. You're actually supposed to search the cart, like actually look at all the little crevices, because I'm like, I don't see anything. What am I supposed to be doing? I go back to the cart. I'm like, yeah, she's good. Put her in. And then it wasn't until it didn't dawn on me until later. And then I go back. I'm like, wait a second. And I'm looking around the cart again. I'm like, oh, grenade, 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 grenade. I'm like, oh no. So I took all the grenades, and then I think I was was I in the embassy? I was in some building, and then there was a note. I believe the note was to the smuggler that I let go scot free. It was basically like telling her good job. I took all the grenades out of the cart that I could find, but there's still grenades there that got into the city. So I'm like, okay, well, I didn't do that job great. That shouldn't come back and bite me later on. That was just funny. It just cracked me up.
Yeah, there's a lot of really small details and widget in Scatterscarp. Have you come across like the drug deal yet?
No.
Where
I
the
did
brother
find that-
asks you to deliver something to his other brother, his other partner, or whatever, which is his other
Oh,
brother.
jeez.
I don't think I have yet. But I did find that really weird. Oh, I did find the thief merchant in the cave.
Mm.
So this
Yeah, I
merchant
know
with
what
all
you're
the
talking
stuff that she's acquired from everyone around the area.
Yeah. No, the drug deal part is funny because Rook did it the same way I did it. It was kind of funny.
Okay, now I'm gonna be looking for that. There's a big section of the map I haven't been to yet. I kind of did a big loop around and came back up. And I've been
You
on
should
my
have
way
a
back
quest
up.
for it because you get a package from one of the brothers and it's a quest to like bring it to his brother or whatever. And it seems like even Kai's like, this seems kind of shady to me. And like,
Oh, there was this one point also in Shatterscarp where I was going after all the bounties, and I was in the zone for one of the bounties, and there was two guys in there arguing. So I go talk to them. Maybe it's a quest, and I went up getting into a fight with them, and it was a tough fight. And turns out they were my bounty. I had no clue.
Oh,
nice.
Anyway, what else you got, Kilo? That's it.
that's all I got, man.
The game's so much fun. I can't wait to get into it this weekend. The wife and I have a lot going on, but I'm gonna make time to sit down and play the game and really get into it. A couple things in Discord that I found very interesting. One of them was brought up by Player134. He's been mentioned before.
Okay.
And that was the Archon Mage build. It was a video posted on YouTube by Red Gale, Gael, and it talks about this epic mage destruction build called the Archon that he made.
That he made. Hold
Or-
on a second. We got this. You can't call it the Archon. That's my trademark.
But it didn't have, I would have believed he took it from you if it was frost based, but there's only like one frost spell in his rotation. So, and then Player134 goes on and asks, what would the widget, the rook, and the kilo build be?
What would the kilo build be?
And the rook is like whatever he can use to explore everything. I don't know how he would. I've seen him play a couple days ago. So he kind of switched between magic and a two-hander, and he mostly maintains his two-hander, which looked a lot of fun. He was wrecking things with that thing. Me, it's all electric. I'm just the electric version of Archon.
There you go. I think Kilo would definitely be the gunslinger. Bad attitude and
yeah.
explosives, man.
Yeah. I do emphasize like half of my rotation on defensive abilities,
Yeah.
including my companion. That's my healer.
Yeah. Rook is more of a two-handed explore now, ask questions later.
Yeah, I noticed that. He's just going around everywhere, every nook and cranny. Anything that pops up, bam, dead.
Whack-a-mole.
So yeah, that I agree with that for sure.
I think Kilo is, like you said, is definitely the gunslinger.
Yeah.
And you're using two pistols for up close, and
Yep.
what about range?
That's it.
No range, just that.
No range, just the two
Okay.
pistols. I'm saving up because there's a really nice, fine rifle at the stalls where you arrive in Paradise,
Okay.
down by the docks. There's a nice rifle down there. I'm saving up for it.
Did you find that one that I mentioned? No, I think that's at the end of Act 1.
I haven't gotten that far
Or the
yet.
beginning of
My
Act 2,
map,
but yeah.
my map looks like spaghetti on a plate. I've just been kind of going all over the place.
I would say save your money. Well, no, you're getting pistols, right?
Yeah.
Well, save money if you're gonna. Don't buy the rifle. You'll get a better one later on.
Okay. All right.
Not much later on too. So
Okay. And I got that scavenger perk now too, so
nice.
get some
Mossy-
materials.
Mossy asked, "Can user reviews concerning review bombing and YouTube influencers reviews even be considered anymore as a viable offering?"
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this because I saw this after we
what I
recorded
thought.
last episode.
Yeah, same.
The short answer is no.
That's
I don't
the
believe
main.
at this
For me,
point.
that's the main answer is no, because
No,
No.
yeah,
It's the cesspool that the internet has become.
It's
and sorry, it
clickbait.
is.
It's all it is.
It's
They're just
clickbait.
doing that just for clickbait.
Yep.
I'm gonna
and,
trash this game.
A
so you
lot
can
of
come
these
watch me.
reviewers and a lot of these reviewers nowadays, especially the ones trashing the game and stuff, are getting paid to
Yeah,
do
they're
so.
making money.
And like I've actually gotten into conversations with some of the influencers and stuff on TikTok who are just absolutely trashing the game, saying how terrible this is and how terrible this is. And then I ask them, I'm like, well, like how far into the game did you get? Oh, I haven't even touched that game. Well, then how do you know it's bad?
Yeah.
Like, how can you honestly come on
They
here,
don't.
give a full review, and talk about how terrible this game is when you haven't even touched it? You haven't played it once.
If you guys
You
want to
just
honest
watched a
review
couple
about
videos.
like what the game's like, listen to shows like us. That's
Yeah.
what we focus on. And
I mean,
we clearly play the game and play it religiously,
Right.
but Steam reviews, I'll look at those sometimes. And most of the time they're pretty good, but there's a couple that will just go off of what other influencers said. And
Right.
I ignore those.
and I think a lot of what it reminds me of every time this topic comes up, like some of these people, especially YouTubers, I'm not even convinced that they necessarily hate the game. There's a movie, the name of it escapes me, but the whole concept is that this group of roommates decide that they're going to take out bad people in the world. And what they will do is they'll invite these people over for dinner, they'll feed them poisoned wine, and then bury them in the garden. Like that's their whole shtick. Ron Perlman is in this movie, and he's like this like Alex Jones style, like, screaming, yelling, carrying on about politics, this, that, and the other. And then when they actually sit down with him at the table, they have a moral quandary because he's actually an extremely reasonable person. And the only reason he talks like that on the air is because it sells.
Right.
And I'm convinced that a lot of these people, the only reason they talk like this is that it sells. It gets them clicks, and the clicks gets them money. So it literally pays for them to just put out garbage in every possible way to say that this game is horrible this way, this game is horrible this way. We saw it with Starfield. We've seen it with Avowed. We saw it with Cyberpunk. Actually, ever since Cyberpunk, really, I think this has become a major trend of smashing these games unnecessarily. And then people read them, and then people don't actually play the game, and then you get things like the review bombing on Steam and Xbox and everything like that. It's absolutely ridiculous. It cannot be taken seriously. And the last place you should be looking for anybody's opinion is on freaking YouTube
Yeah.
or on TikTok. If you're listen to me carefully. If you're looking for people's opinions on TikTok, if you're taking what you see on TikTok to heart and not with a grain of salt and not doing any critical thinking or not doing your own research, you're wrong and you're part of the problem. Sorry. End of rant.
I can't stand the whole influencer thing. Like when people say, "Oh, what's your job?" I'm an influencer. No, so you don't have a job.
No. You're either spreading hate or you're shaking your ass on camera. That's not a job.
It's I can't stand it.
There are some good ones out there, so I will put that caveat out there. There are a few people that are
I don't
generally
wanna,
entertaining to watch who aren't
Yes.
negative in any way,
But they're not really
shake their ass on
influencers.
camera.
Right. I mean, it's pretty bad. It's a swamp out there, but there are. I concede. I know personally. I know I got friends on my TikTok and my Instagram that are excellent people, and they're all about positivity and support, and trying to bring some good into the world. It's the other side of the coin that's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean,
If
that's
you're
also
if you're
saying
using,
that we could be influencers because we're influencing people to have fun.
I mean,
Right.
fair. Podcasters are technically influencers, but like my big
don't
thing
know.
is if you are an influencer,
I was kidding.
use your influence for good, please. Use your
Right.
influence for good.
There's enough
Don't
bad
use
in
it
the
to
world,
destroy.
man. There's already enough problems in the world. Why add to it?
Don't use
Why
it to
add to
destroy.
it?
If you are not employed as a actual video game critic, then your opinion doesn't matter.
Even those video game critics have been asinine lately.
Right. I agree. It's
I don't
like
have any respect for IGN anymore.
Oof, that was
my
a big
thing,
one.
and I'm guilty of this too. Like I actually did this just the other day. One of my friends was trying to get me to play the new Monster Hunter Wilds game, and
Okay.
the first thing I did was I went to Steam, and I don't go through and listen to people's rants.
Right.
I go through and I see, is it getting mostly positive, reviews, Or is it like, for instance, this game has received 67,000 reviews and only 46% of them are positive? That makes me wonder about the
whole
game.
mixed review thing.
If
Right.
over 50% of the population is saying it's bad out of 80,000 reviews, then I'm like, maybe I don't want to spend $70 on this game. But if there's like 147 reviews,
Right. I mean, the best way to go about it, give credit to an old friend of mine for this, that, you know, you have to find somebody who you jive with specifically. Keep it to one or two people as
Right.
far as like game reviews and movie reviews. People that you know like the same things as you, and maybe listen to their opinions. Maybe, I don't know, talk to your friends who've already played it. You know, get some other sources. Don't go on YouTube and see, you know, a bunch of clickbait videos and decide, okay, well, obviously this game's crap. You're just denying yourself a positive experience through other people's negativity, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
and
So-
another decent place to look if you're really, really on the fence, Metacritic is usually fairly fair for the most part. And for me,
Right.
if the game has like a C or better on Metacritic, I'm willing
Right.
to give it a shot. I'm
Well,
willing
and
to
you
check it out
gotta-
and see if it's any good.
Yeah, and it's worth, and especially with, I don't, you know, not all platforms are like this, but, you know, if you're like a Game Pass member, if you're paying that monthly subscription, there's a good chance you can get in and try it for no extra money. Just try the game. Give
Like
it
Avowed,
a
for
solid
instance.
college go and, you know, give it a shot. Like Avowed. Starfield was on there too. You know, a lot of games are coming out that way now, so it doesn't cost you any extra money to invest a couple hours and see if it hooks you. If it doesn't, fine, move on.
Yeah, move on. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that big of a deal.
I've played plenty of games that people have told me were complete trash that I had a blast with. So,
Yeah, me too. You know?
Yeah. Subnautica.
and I would definitely.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing.
No, you told me it was great, and I have been on the fence with that one. But
It looks
I
cool. I
mean-
don't have the patience for it.
long story short, give Avowed a chance. Don't listen to the reviews. A lot of people, obviously on TikTok, I've seen tons of people trashing it, but it's not a bad game. Is it going to win Game of the Year? I don't think so. I honestly don't think so, because there's some other really good ones that have come out and will come out this year. It's probably
This is
not
a
going to win Game
stacked
of the Year,
for games.
but is it? If you have Game Pass and it's free anyway, is it worth 40, 50 hours? Heck yeah, why not? I mean, it's a good time. I had a lot of fun with it, except for that one storyline that ticked me off. But other than that, I had a blast with the game. So yeah, it's worth it.
Agreed.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back into it. I just need the time, which I will have time this week. I still need to go
Hey.
through the Avowed digital art book and soundtrack.
Your lady is asleep and you're almost done recording. So just saying.
Yep. If you guys want to reach this show through advertising or have any suggestions for the show, email us, podcastraw@gmail.com. The best way to get a hold of us, you can get a hold of us individually or by talking to us through our chats, is in Discord. Discord is definitely the place to be. Come join the community. Come talk. Come join the Avowed section and just talk away. Ask your questions. Do whatever you want within reason. Discord.gg/raw podcasts. RAWPODCASTS. Just put that in your browser and you'll be right in. If you don't know what Discord is, Google it. Facebook is Raw Podcasts. Our Instagram,
Raw Podcast 1.
and you can follow us on X as well at Avowed Raw. I'm going to start trying to post more on that. I've been pretty bad about that. My apologies. And you can follow us individually as well. I am at The Widget, THEWIGIT, everywhere.
And I am at Kilo Tango 1122 everywhere.
And I am at the Archon 606, basically everywhere.
Have a fantastic week out in Avowed and take a lesson from Rook and look under every dang rock.
Cut some things up, guys.
Peace out.